Creo que estoy recording it. I'm recording. Esta papá está detrás de mí. Super close. ¿Me quiere montar? Hombre, tú. Day 27, guys. Feeling good, man. Feeling good. Day 27. Tomorrow is weigh-in. Day 28. Weigh-in in the morning. I'm feeling pretty optimistic, but then again, look. First week, I dropped like 10 pounds, or like 11 pounds, I think, maybe more. The next week, I dropped only 4.4, right? And I attribute that to really more body recomp. And I think that second week, I really hit the gym. Like, I hadn't really figured out that I need kind of, one day yes, one day no. But I'm still debating on that. I've said in previous videos that I think I'm gonna try to do as much as I can, but I'm not gonna force the issue. Then third week, I lost that 8.8. So this is the fourth week. Honestly, I think it's gonna be somewhere between 6.5 and 8. To be honest, 6.5 and 8. I think if I get 6.5 to 8, that's good for me. I feel good there. If I get more than that, that'd be great. And in the back of my mind, I do feel like I could get more than I did last week, just because this past week I've been doing a lot, and every single day I haven't done the 5 shakes. So, like I said in day 27 video, I think there's been like 3 days last week where I only did like 470 calories. There were like 1 or 2 days where I only did like 600 and something calories. You know what I mean? So I haven't hit the full 780 like every single day, to be honest. And so honestly, I feel like I should be, more than 8. But, these things can be odd, man. All I know is I did lose weight. There's no way I didn't lose weight. It's just not possible. So there's that. So yeah, day 27, pretty standard Monday. Fortunately have a Monday meeting. Good thing is C-level, the upstairs guys were not there. They were busy going to the Texas. Going to the Texans game. That guy, man. Going to the Texans game on Dallas. So, I guess when you're rich, right? Anyways, so pretty chill work day. Only had one meeting. Got to catch up on a lot of work, but also just kind of took my time with things. Decompressed from the weekend, man. It was a long weekend, man. It was a very hectic weekend. There were certainly good parts, you know what I mean? But very hectic. So I think usually Mondays I hit all 5 shakes. I just do. So I think I'm going to hit my 5th shake when I get home in a little bit. And tomorrow's another day where it's like low-key busy from the jump. But get to work from home, work around home, so that's good. Then Wednesday is just regular work. I don't think I have a meeting on Wednesday. And we also have our potluck on Wednesday, so like the Christmas Thanksgiving potluck. That'll be interesting. There's gonna be like people that are gonna ask me like, why am I not eating? Toda la cosa. So there's that. I'll probably do, instead of a 12-4-6-8, I'll do a 1-3-5-7-9 or something modified. But yeah, day 27. I just came back from a salsa class, so good cardio, good little hit, for like 50 minutes. So, got the juices flowing. I'm really progressing in that. But here's my thing. I feel like I do very well, like in the lessons, and then when it comes time to like either practice by myself or like, you know what I mean? Or that one time I went to the social, like in the moment, it forgets it all. So I don't think I'm gonna go to the social this weekend because I have a dinner at 7, but on Friday night. But Wednesday will be interesting in the sense that and we'll talk about it. That'll be day 29. Day 29. So we'll talk about it. It's gonna be interesting. Wonder how that night turns out. So yeah, man. What else I got for today? Any reflection? Well, I guess just jumping off days 25 and 26, right? Saturday and Sunday. They were, like I said, there was good moments in those days, but they were very long days. Very, they took a lot out of me. And there was definitely moments there, man, where I was seriously tempted. And not from a hunger standpoint, but from more of, I know that like the dopamine I'm gonna get from eating. You know what I mean? And I wasn't planning on eating anything, quote unquote healthy. You know what I mean? It was just something like, man, I need something in my system. I know that this is gonna make me feel better. You know what I mean? Like, I know that this is, you know what I mean? And but it's like I've been trying to tell myself daily, basically, feelings are momentary. Feelings are fleeting. You know what I mean? If you just lock in and if you just let that wave pass you, if you let that wave hit you, right? Whatever it is, whether it is sadness or anger or even getting on a more serious topic like lust. You know what I mean? Like when you get the sensation of lust, if you can, no pun intended, ride out that wave or that feeling, you can get past it, right? Because you're not, let's be frank, you know what I mean? Let's be frank, not being vulgar, but no one is horny 24/7. You know what I mean? You have moments, right? So, you know what I mean? If you're not married, right, and you're on a path wanting to do right by God and by the pact, by you and your future, spouse, that feeling of lust or of that desire is momentary, right? But it doesn't feel that way in the moment. But you have to remind yourself, and that goes to hunger, like I was saying. You know what I mean? In those moments, it wasn't so much that I was hungry, but I just knew, man. I knew that if I take a bite of that, I knew that if I took a sip of full sugar soda, or you know what I mean, like that's gonna eat dopamine. And then add to the fact that sometimes when we're in social settings, or we're social settings, or we're family settings, either two things happen. You feel like you have to partake, right? Because I'm with my family, or I'm in a social setting, just enjoy a little bit. You know what I mean? To be honest, I think in the past I would have been like, my uncles and my cousin, hanging out with my cousin. You know what I mean? Let's just vibe with them. You know what I mean? No harm, no foul, kind of a thing. But I stuck to what I'm about. You know what I mean? Because again, it's a momentary feeling, a momentary satisfaction when I want long-term growth, when I want, real growth, real dedication, effort, real results. You know what I mean? Or it could be, right, you're like, man, but then they're gonna ask me why, and I'm embarrassed, and I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to talk about my weight. You know what I mean? They might ask me how much I weigh, or how much I've lost, or they might ask me this or that. Or they might be the type of people who are like, oh man, that's not healthy, or oh man, you need to eat more, or oh man, you're doing things too extreme, too drastic. And in my opinion, unless they are a actual medical employee, or like person, like someone that's graduated, someone that has a degree, someone has experience, not just a degree or education, but someone that has experience in healthcare, You know what I mean? Someone who has experience in physical training and physical, you know what I mean? All these things, unless they're the ones saying it. Even then, you know what I mean? Not all of them get it right, because this is an evolving, you know what I mean? Study. I mean, it's an evolving. What people thought 50 years ago for health is, some of it's just not true, and some of it is. Some of it just timeless. And some of the things that were true back then that people don't deem true now, you know what I mean? It goes both ways, right? So it's like, you know, you kind of just have to learn how to take that. You know what I mean? You have to kind of learn how to just take it and not let it get to you, and just understand that, you know, maybe they mean well or whatever, right? But you know what you have to do. You know your vision. You know your goals, right? You know what it's going to take. And like I said, I don't know if it was a day 25 or day 26. You know what I mean? But, you know what I mean? So not everyone's on the same journey, right? Like, some people are like, okay, I'm going to start with a 500 calorie deficit. Then I'm going to do 750, then 1,000, then a 1,500 calorie deficit. You know, things like that. You know what I mean? Versus me, that I'm doing like a 3,000, you know, calorie deficit. You know what I mean? Of course, what I'm doing is an actual program. This is a program by one of the most respected hospitals in the whole U.S., probably the whole world, because I live in the medical center of the world. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm just doing something to do it, right? I'm doing something that's proven, right? But again, when people see these kind of drastic things, they automatically assume that that's not good, or that that's not sustainable, right? And I completely agree that sustainability is very, very important, like super important, right? But it's also about, you know what I mean, knowing yourself and where you want to go, what is your timeline, and what do you have in you, right? And understanding that I've tried to do similar things, right? We're little at a time, one little step at a time. But I'm seeing the results now going full throttle. And not just going full throttle and see what happens, but I'm planning out my day. I'm planning out my things. I'm holding myself accountable with these videos, with my posts on Instagram, right? Telling my family, and, you know what I mean? Like, weighing myself weekly. You know what I mean? Those type of things. It's not just like before, where I would just do things to do them and expect that I would get results. No, it's more methodical. You know what I mean? So I say all this because of what I'm experiencing, but also because Thanksgiving is next week. Then you have Christmas, right? New Year's, right? Which if you're Latino, you know what I mean? You might not think it, but Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's, that's a lot of parties. That's a lot of food. You know what I mean? And so it's not about any, like I said, it just depends on where you are. I was at 397. I couldn't just take it slow. I can't. I'm sorry. I just refuse to do it. But, you know what I mean? Let's just say you're average guy, 5'9", maybe you're 60 pounds overweight, right? You can do something sustainable, quote unquote, you know what I mean? Where you don't have to do this massive of a cut. You know what I mean? But you have to plan it out, and you have to learn how to eat, right? Because now and you also have to learn who you are, right? Because there are some people that are like, you know what? I'm going to go on a cut where I'm not going to go drastic, but I also know that I can't eat what I like, because I don't have enough self-control to stop myself, to weigh things out. You know what I mean? To count my macros. So I'm going to modify my diet to be, quote unquote, healthy, right? But there are some people, right, who are like, you know what? If I lock in, I can eat the same foods. I just have to count my macros, right? I have to count, like, okay, if I want Cane's, then, you know, instead of getting, you know, the Caniac combo, I get the one that I get a kid's meal, right? Right? Or if I do get the Caniac combo, right, then maybe for my other 2 meals, if I usually eat 2 meals, 3 meals a day, then I'll have like a protein shake, right? 150 calories right there. You know what I mean? But you're counting your macros. You know what I mean? And also if you're trying to get big, it's really important that you count your protein, So right, just eating whatever you want whenever it comes to actually growing, like trying to grow muscle, it's a fine balance, right? And I think what I'm looking forward to whenever I go to phase 3 is that balance where I'm, for the majority of time, right, I'm eating cleaner, right? That doesn't mean I'm not eating what I like, but like I've been looking at like a lot of ways, right, where I can make things that I like, but in a way that is quote unquote healthier, and the same counting my macros, things that are like very dense, like, you know what I mean? For me, a big thing is, right, what I'm projecting, right, but I'm seeing in the future what I think is going to be key for me, but who knows, right? Is that, you know, finding those foods that are very not very calorie dense, but that I can be consumed a lot, right? Because I classify myself as more of an emotional eater, bored eater, but also binge, kind of. Like, I'm the type of person that I could be fine, and then as soon as I get to the kitchen, like for like 5 minutes, I just go crazy, right? But the key to combating that is finding foods, right? Ways to make foods, ways to buy food where you can spam it a lot, but it's not going to affect your macros. You know what I mean? And then also, you know what I mean, building muscle is very key on your macros. What are your protein? What are your fats? What are your carbs, right? And being able to count that, and then also expanding your mindset, right, to how you're eating. It doesn't have to be, and this is the you know, you see people like a lot of fitness influencers and just like bodybuilders, and they're just spamming like ground beef and rice and sriracha or barbecue sauce, or they're spamming chicken and rice or chicken and potatoes, and like you just look at that food and like that's so boring. But I do think that that's a personal choice, because it's very easy just to do that. You don't really have to think. You already know what you're gonna eat, right? Versus you can make different foods just as long as you're hitting your macros. But it takes a lot more effort to do that, to find recipes and weigh things out and learn how to make them, versus making ground beef and rice or ground beef and potatoes and adding a little bit of spinach and adding barbecues or sriracha. You know what I mean? You really don't have to do much. And the same thing with, you know, your classic chicken and rice kind of things. You know what I mean? Is more out of simplicity and laziness, in my opinion, that you see those people do that. You know what I mean? And it's also a mentality thing, because for them it's like, okay, when I'm doing this, I'm locked in, versus they might feel like if I'm eating other foods, right, then I'm not really locked in or whatever, even if they're hitting their macros. You know what I mean? So it's like, I feel, and I'm talking to the person that, you know what I mean, has tried to do things, but they feel like, oh, but I don't know, or I'm not seeing results, or then that means, I remember, I'll share, you know what I mean, I'm gonna share the story down the road. And but this, when I think about when I said this, it's like, wow, your mentality, right? But people are like, well, if I do this, that means I'm not gonna have this, I'm not gonna be able to eat that, I'm not gonna do that. You know what I mean? Or the holidays are coming up, or this or that. It's like, man, all it takes is research. All it takes is you planning things out, right? And you know what I mean? It just takes a little bit of effort at the very beginning. Like, it takes effort at the beginning, right? But then you're going to hit a stride and you hit a groove, and you're going to meet people that know more. You know what I mean? You're going to become more intuitive. You know what I mean? But it's just like, people just give up. And I count myself as that kind of person before. Just giving up so quickly, right? But it's like, excuse me, just put in the time and you're going to get there, right? So, also, this is such a vibe shift from day 24, huh? I had like 4 views that day. And I think at one point I was like tearing up, or a little bit crying in that video. So that's kind of weird. I wonder who those 4 viewers were. But yeah, guys, I mean, day 27, feeling good. Tomorrow weigh in, day 28, excited. I'm really excited to hit 30 days, which will be Thursday. You know what I mean? So, you know, kind of symbolic, kind of like a month, right? 30 days a month. So we'll see what's going to happen. I'm really excited. You know, I think depending on how this weigh-in goes tomorrow, I think I can really project the kind of weight that I'm gonna enter the year, and I'm just excited thinking about it. So, day 27, guys. Échale ganas this week. Don't stop. See ya.